Look, if you want to be better as an athlete or be one of the best athletes in the world, you need to understand that all of them are resilient, meaning that they have the ability to adapt to extreme situations and get right back to normal no matter what, meaning that when challenges come up, they don't get fazed by them. Now, if you're able to master these 5 resilience skills I'm about to give you in this video, you will be able to build your confidence, build your certainty, be more focused, shut out the noise, and be adaptable so that you can adapt to any kind of challenges that performances throw at you and still be successful. In this video, I'm gonna give you the 5 resilience skills that we use with our pro athletes that you can start applying right now to your training days and performance days to start getting better results. You'll be able to build your mindset and mental toughness so that you're able to handle challenges when they come up and stay focused on the task at hand and be more confident going into performances. This is a framework that I wish I used when I was an athlete and when I was playing soccer in Italy, because it is foolproof for our pro athletes and it will be foolproof for you to get results. Now, we did cover part 1 last week, and I highly suggest you pause the video and go watch it right now because this week's video will build on it. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Calderoni, co-founder of Molliteum, where since 2015 we've helped just over 5,300 athletes discover and reach their true potential by building their resilience. And the reason that I started this YouTube channel is because I was a pro athlete. I didn't have these skills. I wish I did, and I wish I got these results, so we're gonna give them to you. Now, before we go any further, please, if you've gotten any value out of this channel, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. It helps us build this following and helps us build this channel so we can keep bringing you free resilience skills that we use with our pro athletes. We taught you how to build your consistency and your discipline so you can follow through more and build those basic habits. Now, again, I highly suggest that you go watch last week's video because that taught you how to build that consistency and discipline that you need to install these habits. And in this week's video, we're giving you the actual habits now. If you don't know how to make those habits a day-to-day part of your process, you will not get any real value out of this. So please, click the link wherever it is here in this video. Make sure that you go and watch that part 1 because it will teach you everything you need to know about consistency and discipline to make sure that you get the most out of this week's tools. Resilience skill number 1, visualize to build your certainty. Look, I can't stress how important visualization is, or what we call at Molliteum mental reps. Visualization, when done right, is such a powerful tool because it allows you to get the results mentally before you do physically, allowing you to build what's known as your certainty or self-belief. This will allow you to walk into situations that you haven't physically handled before, knowing that you can. For example, have you ever gone to, let's say, a new team, tried out for one, played on a different one, where you didn't really know what was going on in the environment and it kind of caused you to hold back, right? You kind of went in there hesitant. That's an example of a lack of certainty, and that's exactly where visualizing will help you. The reason being, and the science shows us, that when you visualize yourself with enough emotion, meaning that you actually believe you're there playing, you're using your different senses to activate this, and more importantly, you actually see yourself getting the results, and you have the right intention, meaning that you're focused on using the exact skills that bring you success. So combine those two, emotion and intention. Your nervous system actually doesn't know the difference between mental practice and physical practice, but that's doing visualization right. You have to have emotion, you have to have intention. If you don't have either of those and you lack emotion and you just have intention, that's going through the motions, right? If you have emotion but no intention, you're not really working on the skills that you need. You need to combine those two things together to build your self-belief and certainty. Now, as far as what to visualize, here's as simple as it is. You're gonna do 3 sets of 10 reps. What you need to do first is you don't want to visualize the outcome. You want to understand what outcome you want and then break it down into 1 to 2 skills, meaning that if I want to be successful and score goals in my upcoming performance, then I'm going to understand the 2 skills that go into me scoring goals, which would be getting to the right area of the field or ice or court and making sure I'm actually shooting to score and seeing myself shooting well. 2 skills, right? Your shot and your positioning. Simple. So what you need to do is in the first set of 10 repetitions, you need to visualize yourself just with basic, perfect technique. Meaning if you are going to score, you need to see yourself in the right position, shooting to score and being successful with it. It's that simple. Then you need to do the second set of 10 repetitions and you need to visualize yourself overcoming a challenge. So this challenge might be when you're trying to get to scoring areas. Maybe there's a defender on you and that's when you have the toughest time getting the results that you want. You can visualize your way through that. So you need to see yourself getting through a challenge and being successful with it. And for the last set of 10 repetitions, you need to visualize yourself getting that desired result. This is where you can see yourself actually scoring in the upcoming performance, but be detailed with it. See yourself beating a defender and scoring a goal, or pulling up at the three-point line with somebody in your face and hitting that shot. Regardless of what it is though, there's a buildup, right? So you start with basic technique, 1 set of 10 reps, you then add in a challenge to that technique, 1 set of 10 reps, and then you visualize yourself getting the outcome that you want. That simple. Now, to actually make this simpler for you, we actually linked below the audio track that we use with our athletes to do mental reps or visualization. All you need to do is download it. The only work you'll literally have to do at that point is understand what outcome you want, what 2 skills go into it, and then I guide you through an audio track where you sit down, you follow along with what I tell you to do, and you get the results. It's foolproof, it works, and I promise you, you'll do what you need to do with this. Now make sure that you use this daily, at least once a day. Our pro athletes usually do once before performances and once before bed. That allows them to train their subconscious before bed and train it one more time before a game to go through any kind of mishaps or last second things that they need to do to get the results they want. Number 2, you need to create a mental environment for yourself when you're physically practicing. Every day you need to allot time to working on your skills physically, like actually going on the field or ice to practice your skills, so you can build your confidence. To keep this simple for you, all you're going to do is physically practice what you're visualizing. So you're gonna spend 5 minutes doing basic technique of the skill you just visualized, exactly how you saw it happening. You're gonna set the drill up that way. Then you're gonna do another 5 minutes on the challenge and work through that and physically work through that. Then you're gonna do another 5 minutes working through the actual outcome that you want to accomplish. It's that simple. Where the key comes into this though is you need to create a mental environment. What does that mean? To give you a simple example, Steph Curry said, I practice and go into practices, even though when nobody's around me, I'm shooting the ball as if 2 to 3 players are on me like in a performance. I'm using that kind of urgency and that kind of intensity and that kind of emotion in my practice. You need to do the same. You need to create that mental environment. Even if you're practicing on your own, you need to do so with the same kind of urgency so that you can get the same results that you would in performance. And if you go through this and keep doing it enough times, again, only 15 minutes a day, you're going to build that muscle memory that a lot of people talk about, and you now will have the confidence walking into performances and the certainty because you're visualizing it. Again, very simply put, do this once a day. Make sure you're spending 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be something where you're, killing yourself with intensity every single time, but a quick little 15-minute jolt, you're gonna be okay. Number 3, build a laser focus. Now that you've built your certainty and your confidence, you need to actually activate it going into performances. And the way you do this is by having a laser focus. What does that mean? A laser focus is an actionable intention that focuses on what you want, not what you don't want. What do I mean by that? A lot of people go into performances saying, don't make a mistake, don't do this, don't hit that target, don't do that, don't do this, don't do this. And what you're actually doing, whether or not you know it, you're conditioning your brain to actually focus on that. You need to get that out of the way. Think of it for a second. All I want you to do right now is think of the color brown, okay? Think of the color brown, think of the color brown, think of the color brown. Now all of a sudden, don't think of the color brown. What's the first color you think of? Brown. That's how this works. Don't think of it and you're thinking about it. But instead, if I were to say, hey, just focus on the color blue, focus on blue, focus on blue, focus on blue. Okay, now focus on blue. What are you doing? You're focusing on blue. So what you need to realize is where focus goes, energy flows. If you're focused on not doing something, you're still gonna subconsciously do it. If you're focused on just doing something, you're going to do it. It's really that simple. So actionable intentions, what does that mean? That means that you need to take the skill that you're visualizing and practicing and turn that into an action. So usually if you did break it down to the skills right, you probably already turned it into actionable items. Meaning that if my outcome is to score, the skill I'm focused on right now is taking a shot. Okay, great. The other skill I'm focused on is getting to the right areas. Okay, so let's combine that with an intention. The intention is to score. So what I'm gonna focus on is getting to the net, that's an action, and shooting, that's an action, to score. That's my intention. So get to the net and shoot to score. Get to the net and shoot to score. That's all I'm gonna do. If you do this, you will activate that certainty and that confidence that you built, and now you have yourself laser focused on what you want, not on what you don't. It's that simple, just break it down into the things that you want. Number 4, have a rep by rep focus with your laser focus. So now that you've got your laser focus down, now that you've got your certainty and your confidence down, now that you trust those skills that you're focused on, you need to know how to focus on it, because a lot of people will focus on the game itself. I gotta have a good game. No, you don't. The best in the world stack good repetitions. That's it. If you're in the gym, they do 1 rep, then they do it again, then they do it again. The great Dorian Yates, who was a bodybuilder, famous bodybuilder, said, every single rep, all I did was focus on getting better on the next rep. Every set, I got better on the next set. Great Cristiano Ronaldo always talks about in soccer and football how he says Cristiano Ronaldo just focuses on one task in front of him. Notice the pattern here? They're all focused on the one thing. You need to focus on the one thing. So how do you do this? Simple. You want to make sure that you take that laser focus now, you do it, then you do it again. Where most people get this wrong is they'll do that laser focus, then they go off into 20 different directions. You will need to fight very hard to keep focus, but what the best athletes in the world do, they slow down and they focus on the one thing in front of them. Meaning if you didn't like how that last shift or that last drive or whatever it is went, do it again, but do it better, right? If you did like how it went, if you did, actionably speaking, get to the net and you shot to score and you did score, great, do it again on the next rep. If you didn't do so well, who cares? Make the adjustment and do better on the next one. But the point is, you need to take it rep by rep and slow things down instead of just trying to have a good game. It really doesn't work that way. And last but not least, you need to study film. And I'm not just talking about studying your own game, which most athletes do. You need to have a role model for the specific skill that you are trying to build with that outcome, and you need to study that individual. Listen, the most natural form of learning for us as human beings is watching other people and mirroring and matching them. Think of how you learned how to speak as a child, right? Mom or dad came and said something to you right in your face, said it multiple times over and over and over again, and eventually you repeated it. That's how it works. We learn from watching others, but the problem is with most athletes, they're only watching themselves or they're watching people at the same level as them. Then they start to compare. I don't need you doing that. I need you being very clear on what exact skill you're building. I need you to find somebody who's already successful in doing that skill, and you need to see how they're doing it. That way you can learn from them. Find the little nuances. Ask yourself the question of what are they doing well? What can I do better? If you stick to those two questions and you're writing it down, which is the most important part, and you're actually drawing those inferences, then you can go apply them into your next session, your next game, your next practice, whatever it might be. Most times athletes really move way too fast and don't slow things down. And because they don't get the results they want. So you need to slow down, you need to study this film, and you need to do it at least 3 times a week. Studying this film 3 times a week, watching your role models and comparing yourself to them and seeing how they're doing that skill, that's the best comparison. But people around your same level, don't worry about that right now. Just focus on those who have already done it well, see what they're doing right, emulate those skills, and move forwards. And there you have it, the second set of 5 ways to build your resilience skills. Now, to quickly recap this, number 1, you need to visualize. You need to make sure you're doing this daily. Number 2, you need to make sure you're creating a mental environment for yourself and practicing the skills you're visualizing on a daily basis. Number 3, you need to take the skill you're visualizing and break it down into actionable intentions for a laser focus. Number 4, you need to make sure you're taking that laser focus rep by rep. And number 5, you need to make sure you're watching film 3 times a week on your role models to make sure that you're emulating the skills they're using and not comparing yourself to people at the same level as you. It's that simple. Repeat this consistently and do it consistently, and I promise you'll get the results you want. Now, if you still didn't watch part 1 of these 5 resilience skills, make sure you go back to do that. You'll learn how to build your resilience as an athlete, and it will teach you how to make sure that you're consistent with these skills. Now, if you did get value out of this video, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share this video. We're trying to build this channel out. Again, we want to help as many athletes as we possibly can because we know that this stuff really oftentimes is given to you theoretically, but not with sets and reps like we're giving you, not with actionable intentions to give you. You need to have that, and you need to make sure that your people do as well so that you guys can all get to that next level. Now, if you do want to train with us one-on-one, we do have application links down below where you can apply to work with a Molliteum coach. If you do want to work on your own as well and don't want to work with a coach, totally fine. We've actually got an entire automated process where we walk you through the entire foundations of resilience so that you can build a more resilient mindset. We coach you once every 30 days with it. We have the app that you're using. Everything is there and everything is stored in it. It's the Molliteum Pocket Coach. There's a link below. Explore that out as well because that can be your best solution right now. Thanks for watching the video. Stay resilient and we'll see you next week. So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast episode, click right here.